Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Jackie Horton, your virtual wellness and health specialist. And I just state specialist because I do a couple of other things outside of coaching. I'm also a trained therapist. And as you know, my channel is to promote wellness and health, to amplify long-standing solutions to health, as well as to uplift those positives that we can build upon. So, Tuesday is Healthy Body, Healthy Organs. I will continue with that series. And Wednesday is about, actually physically moving. So thanks again for joining me today. I am a certified life and health coach with the Health Coach Institute. And today I have a great segment for you. In my training with the Health Coach Institute, there was a nutrition program session with Dr. Stephen Maisley. And basically, he did a whole series in this training that I was part of on tuning up the heart. So, healthy heart. And so, that's something that I wanted to continue on because, as you know, I have been focusing on really only 5 organs that I think has the most impact on long-term health. And that was the brain, the heart, the liver, the lungs, and the kidney. Long story. Many times in healthcare, that's really the 5 organs that I noticed that require immediate treatment, long-standing treatment, and where the doctor really is the doctor or the medical provider is really focusing on either prevention or management or continued treatment and so forth to keep the person feeling healthy and feeling, good in spirit and good in health. So, without that being said, so with this training, that this certification that that I was doing, and they were talking about nutrition programming and also making sure that the brain as well as the heart get all the nutrients that it needs to get in order to continue to function at the best level despite the age. There were 3 areas that we focused on. One was diet. What are we eating? One was the age. What are we doing to manage our weight? And one was the lack of exercise. And so I'm just going to share a little bit, highlights from Dr. Maisley's nutrition program for the heart. And I'm also going to interject components for the brain support as well. Some of you may know, but cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of Americans. Dr. Maisley shared from an article in the New England Journal of Medicine that despite all the new, improved, and accessible healthcare innovations that we have in America, and also in modern countries, but mainly in America, they're noting that people at a very young age are being diagnosed with chronic illnesses, and it is leading to death at a younger age in comparison to our other generations, like our grandparents and great grandparents. And one of there's some alerts that that was brought up to let us know what are we doing to cause this. And basically the alerts are, as I said before, in your labs. When you go quarterly for your routine checks, when you have been diagnosed with a chronic illness, or when you go annually, which I do go annually, get my labs, you get the full metabolic panel done. And that's all your blood work, every test to look at and measure everything. And if there's an indication of abnormal cholesterol that is identified, that is the leading cause for a heart attack or a stroke. And sometimes I will refer in this presentation that a stroke is considered a brain attack. So when there's an abnormal cholesterol level on your panel, that's an alert for you and the doctor to start talking about some nutrition in the diet. And that includes blood pressure issues, that includes weight issue and BMI. You get all that as well when you go for your regular visits to your doctor's office. If there's an elevated blood sugar level, concern. I do know there are moments that we have opportunity to talk to everyone about, exercise, and I do not mean physical movement. I think we sort of like turn exercise into a negative word in a way, and now we just say, well, if you're physically moving, that's all, that's helpful as well. Well, To be truthful, yeah, physical movement, if you can do it, you will move your body to do what you need to do. However, exercise, as I said in the other session, is that it is intentional, it is, targeted, and it is to correct, build, or modify something. So physical movement does not do all those things. Exercise does. Intentional, targeted to build or modify something. So you do need, so there is an assessment of your fitness level. The other thing that's an alert uh, to the heart issue is the expanding waistline. That's a sure test. That is a sure visual measurement that there may be some chronic issues starting to arise, or they're already there in place due to the expanding waistline. And then obesity. I know there's a pushback on obesity and understanding obesity, but obesity is one of the leading causes to an early chronic conditions being developed as well as to a death. All right. So you wouldn't believe it, but one of the biggest issue, and primarily from this article, that's been identified as the number one cause of not having not seeing patients being in a more preventive mindset state is lifestyle. It's how do you lead your lifestyle when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your overall health. And lifestyle behavior changes is not something new. It's something that's sort of been in place as long as we can remember. However, due to the the increased number of those who are, being who are having, poor health outcomes, and pretty much we do have access to these things. I mean, I do know there's some communities may not have a number of free recreation centers that people can go to and so forth, but overall there is more accessibility to things to help you to kind of get better at changing your lifestyle and changing your mindset. One of the things that I just mentioned was a physical activity, but also with the physical activity, which is exercise, there is a focus on really working on doing things that strengthen your heart and causing your heart to operate more. So a little bit, electric slide each day is a fun way, and you can just kind of replay it up to 15 minutes and just have a good time, just to get that cardio moving and that blood circulation flowing. Um, and so you want to just learn, different things that will make you comfortable. Also get under a specific person who's, has some kind of certification or some kind of understanding on what to do with people may, not feel as confident due to their medical issues to be more physically active. Another thing around lifestyle behavior changes we that's been recommended is that learning how to handle or learning how to manage your emotional stress. We all have stress and we all have stressors. I think if we all sat down and talked, we'll kind of hear stories about what each of us are going through. So learning how to manage them in a way that it does not cause more problems for you, such as leading you to having more headaches and so on and so forth. And then the final thing was following a customized heart healing supplement plan. And that is with your medical provider who knows you and who knows what's best for you. And so as a health coach, we assist with the doctors or the medical providers way of looking at your whole matrix of the medical system. So we look at your diet, which I mentioned earlier. We look at your fitness level and weight control and final nutrition. And with those are the four ways that we sort of kind of like break down a customized, personalized plan for you to be able to achieve better health. And in regards to that, with the nutrition, um, Dr. Maisley listed at least I think 6 things that would be helpful to incorporate in our diet outside of the fruits and vegetables, outside of the specific dairy like yogurt, outside of the leafy things, the leafy foods like greens, collard greens, spinach, and so forth. He talked about some different essential minerals that we need that's produced in our body, but also need a little bit more help. One was magnesium. Magnesium helps the immune system stay healthy. It helps your bones stay strong, your heart allows your heart to beat steadily and promotes normal functioning of your nerves and your muscles. And an adequate intake is around, um, 2 to 300. You can get these in black or lima beans, fruits like bananas or avocados, nuts like almonds and cashews. And again, like we said, yogurt. So pretty much you already have those things that you're doing for your internal health, for your healthy, to promote and to also sustain your organs. So you're doing those things. It's just making sure that you do them daily. I mentioned earlier about the cooked spinach and the collard greens, the green peas, sweet corn. Another mineral that he recommended was the long chain omega-3 oils, primarily seafood. It helps lower the risk for heart attack and brain attack, which is stroke. It helps improve brain function and speed, decrease inflammation, decrease risk for autoimmune diseases. The other one is vitamin D, which is produced when the skin is exposed to a lot of sunlight. And there are days that we don't have enough sunlight, and there are places where the sun doesn't even really shine as much. And so there is a recommendation to use a vitamin D supplement between 2 to 5,000 IUs. And it just helps increases, you know, blood circulation. It helps the organ functions fully. It just provides everything that it needs to support you in having healthy outcomes. Vitamin K, we know about vitamin K's, our calcium, support in our bones. And also it helps to reduce the plaque around our arteries by eating and, taking a supplement from vitamin K. The last one is called nitrates, excuse me. It is from a natural foods like beets and also again cooked spinach. I'm telling you, I'm getting into the cooked spinach. I had some a couple of days ago, and then I cooked some a couple of weeks ago. So spinach and collard greens are and green peas and lima beans are just kind of like always a part of any meal that I have for dinner or sometimes lunch. But going back to nitrates, it's a master compound that regulates the function of your arteries. And so, with those different types of suggestions that you probably already are doing, it just supports your heart, and it also supports your brain as well, and staying at the most ultimate level. Whether you a young chicken or whether you are going transitioning each year into your senior days, it does help sustain you with a healthy life, longevity. So I thank you for joining me today. Stay healthy, stay blessed, and thank you again for all that you do. Bye bye.